welcome back everyone to another Yao Movies video, and it's finally time to declare the top 10 movies of 2017. Now, before I go on any further, I would like to say that this video is taped on 16 December of 2017, and you might ask why so early. Because I'm leaving for vacation quite soon, and I believe that I won't have the opportunity to watch any more movies while I'm on break and on vacation. So I decided to record this now, film it now, and do a top 10 best 2017 so far. I potentially might plan to do a updated version once I see all the movies that I want to see, but this will be the top 10 movies of 2017 so far. And before I go on further again, I would like to say several movies that I have not seen, which are mostly the Oscar-worthy, Oscar-buzz movies that I really would love to see, but I'm unable because either it's not playing in the cinemas near me or I missed it. But it was The Disaster Artist, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, The Shape of Water, Call Me By Your Name, The Florida Project, The Post, I, Tonya, Downsizing, The Darkest Hour, and The Greatest Showman. I know some of this is still on limited release, which is why I was unable to see it. I really wish I could have seen all those and put them in the ranking, but since I'm unable to, let's just go further ado to my list. And while I'm looking here, I forgot to tell you, because I have my laptop here, I have my notes, and I might be looking in here back and forth several times because I want to see my notes and everything. Alright, let's do some honorable mentions. I have 5 movies that is slightly out of the top 10, and I'll just do a quick review of them for the honorable mentions. There is Logan Lucky. It's one of the, I think it's Steven Soderbergh's movie. It's a very interesting heist movie. It's very smart, it's quippy, it's stylish. It stars Channing Tatum, there is Daniel Craig, there is Adam Driver in that movie. Like I said, it's a very quippy, unique, stylish heist movie. I really enjoyed it, but it's slightly out of the top 10. And then we also have It. It's based on Stephen King's novel about Pennywise the Dancing Clown. It has really great performances. It is one of the better horror movies of the year. It's about the Pennywise terrorizing the kids, and like I said, great cast, great performances. It has great drama in a horror setting, and once again, slightly out of the top 10. And then we also have War for the Planet of the Apes. This is the third and final installment in the new Planet of the Apes trilogy, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Andy Serkis as Caesar. I really love this movie, and it pains me to put it outside of the top 10 because I really think this is one of the best performances of the year that I've seen. Andy Serkis as Caesar. The mocap, motion capture performance was unbelievably incredible. It was so realistic, and it have really deep story. It explores life, it explores struggle, it explores the psyche of what it's like being in a war, and it is great. It have a great ending to the end of one of the better trilogies that is in this century right now. Next up, we have Wonder. It stars Jacob Tremblay as the kid who plays as August Pullman. This is based on a novel, based on a true story, based on the real human being person of August Pullman. He is a boy with facial disfigurement, and it is a very heartwarming, emotional, yet very uplifting movie. It is a very uplifting story. It's about family, it explores about friendship, it is a coming of age story about overcoming differences and about growing up. It is a very powerful movie. Once again, I really love this movie, and it pains me so hard to put it outside of the top 10. And the last honorable mention that I would like to say is Spider-Man Homecoming. It is another Spider-Man movie. In the MCU, finally, Tom Holland nails the part. He is the best Peter Parker / Spider-Man, in my opinion. It is a great coming-of-age story. That's what I keep telling everyone why you should watch this movie, because it is very different. It is a coming-of-age story in a superhero setting. It has great humor, and it has a fresh take on Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man like what we know and love, but it is very quippy, it's hilarious, like I said, it's a coming-of-age story, very fresh in the MCU, incredible movie. Alright, now let's go to the top 10 movies of the year. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Alright, Number 10 in this list is Wonder Woman. Yeah. So, Wonder Woman. It is probably one of the only universally good DC movies that people accept and love. I mean, there is Man of Steel, Justice League is like mix and match, but Wonder Woman is definitely one of the few universally loved DCU movies. It has great performances from Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Robin Wright, all well-rounded performances by everyone, and it done what it did well. It's not only it introduced the character of Wonder Woman to the general audience. Comic book fans probably is familiar with the backstory and everything, but it introduced Wonder Woman, which, believe it or not, have a very complex backstory. But Patty Jenkins, who directed this, did a really good job in introducing Wonder Woman. And not only that, it also showed the growth of Diana from Themyscira into Wonder Woman, literally. It shows her growth as the hero, as the figure that everyone loves and adores and looks up to. What this movie have that I believe stands out is that it has a lot of heart. Not only the character, but the movie as a whole, it have a lot of heart. It is very heartwarming, it has emotions, and it knows when to stand up and it shines. Especially the one scene in particular, the No Man Land scene, is probably one of the best scenes of the year. One of the best scenes in comic book movie, superhero movie, period. When I watch that, I've seen Wonder Woman like 2-3 times. Every time I see the No Man's Land scene, and each time I watched that scene, I was just so invested. I'm like, wow, this scene is just incredible and just gets better every viewing it gets. And like I said, Patty Jenkins, who directed this movie, I'm not sure if she's the first female director to direct a superhero movie, but one of the first one that stands out, definitely. She gets so many recognition, not just for her directing, but I believe she is in the one of the is it Person of the Year in Time Magazine? Correct me if I'm wrong, but she totally deserves it, because not only what she did for the movie, but what she did to the movie business, what she did to the world, what she did to the political stance and everything. She really creates something that is truly incredible and well deserving. And the only reason it's number 10 in this list is because I feel like some of the CG lacks, and the third act. I feel like the third act, when Wonder Woman fights Ares, it feels like a completely different movie. It becomes cheesy, and that's why it's number 10 in this list. Number 9 in this list is Baby Driver, directed by Edgar Wright, and it stars, I'm blanking, Ansel Elgort. There you go, Ansel Elgort. And I'm not gonna mention the other stars. One of them in particular, is in a lot of controversy, so I'm gonna ignore him. Probably that's one of the reasons it's number 9 in this list, because I consider that also. You might know I'm talking about Kevin Spacey, of course, but yeah, let's not talk about him. But I want to talk about this movie. It has style, it has substance, it's unique, it's funky, its integration of music is incredible. It has great story, and like I said, the style of this movie is just what stands out the most. One of the best showcase of editing of the year. Like how Edgar Wright directs and edit this with the music, with the movie. One scene was like he used the music, well, not one scene, a lot of scene. He used music to match how the action plays out. And just the directing, the filming, and the editing of that is truly incredible. Joyride from beginning till end of Baby Driver. It is a heist movie, it has action, it has comedy, it is a thriller. And the only reason why it's number 9 is because I feel like some story points doesn't work. I feel like the character played by Lily James, who plays, I think, Deborah or Debbie, I don't really remember her name, I'm sorry if I missed it all at all, but I feel like her character is like shoehorned in to be just a lover in this movie. And if there is more to her, maybe that would be better for this movie, but that is one of the few reasons why it's number 9 in this list. Now moving on to number 8. Now this could be controversial, but I put Star Wars The Last Jedi at number 8 in this list. And I want to clarify, I've only seen this movie once so far, and I've seen it literally yesterday, so it's very still fresh in my head, and there's a lot of stuff that I want that is wrapped around about story points, especially. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but what I would know, what I want to say is that Ryan Johnson did a great work in this movie. What he did, taking the bold story points, he was very daring in this movie. He's, like I say in my review, that if you haven't seen, check it out. He's ballsy in this movie. He takes some stuff that I think wouldn't have happened if helmed by the director, and he did it, and he nails it, which was incredible. It had one of the best cinematography of the year, one of the best cinematography in any Star Wars movie. It was incredible. It has great action. One of my favorite lightsaber moments in all the Star Wars franchise is in this movie, and it has a great performance by all the cast. Mark Hamill have a performance for the ages. Kylo Ren played by Adam Driver, Rey played by Daisy Ridley, and Poe Dameron played by Oscar Isaac stands out, and of course the lovely Carrie Fisher, our Princess Leia. Well, probably her final performances, of course her final performances, I mean, in her career in Star Wars. It was incredible, and I'm really looking forward to watch this movie again, because like I said, I've only seen it once, and I feel like my mind will completely change if I've seen it twice, because there is so many stuff to wrap around, so many information, probably information overload, if I could say it. But yeah, I might be overcritical about this, because I really love the franchise, and I might be, like I said, overcritical. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't think that would happen. Oh, I think that might happen. So maybe if I see it again, and I want to see it again, I feel like my opinion will change. And some story elements, like I said, right now at this moment, I feel like it doesn't fit, but if I watch it again, I might understand it. But at this point, which is why it's number 8 in the list. Number 7 in this list is Blade Runner 2049. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, stars Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. It is a sequel to the cult classic movie of Blade Runner, directed by Ridley Scott. And if I have to say and describe this movie in a few words, I would say technical masterpiece. From the score, from the cinematography, from the CGI, from the acting, wow. There is so many beautiful there is so many things that when you see in this movie, you're like, wow, that is a spectacle to see. The story is very deep and very complex. It explores the human AI relationship of what the original Blade Runner managed to do. It takes it to another level. It's a completely different story, yet still in the same realm. And I understand the movie, but despite that, I would say that this movie is probably not for everyone. This movie is quite long. It's nearly 3 hours long, and I watched it with a couple of friends, and I could tell that they sort of zone out at a couple of times, because maybe they not, if I'm not wrong, they haven't watched the original Blade Runner. Maybe they don't understand what the movie is all about. I did told them beforehand what the movie is about. But then again, like I said, maybe it's not for everyone, because it is a sci-fi movie, but it's not an action sci-fi like maybe a Star Wars is. And I'm not taking anything away from Star Wars, but this one is all about the drama, the intensity, exploring the political and emotional side of what it's like to be an AI, what it's like being human. It's a very deep movie. It's very perfect in technical aspect. But then again, I have to put it number 7, because I do feel like it's probably not for everyone, despite how much incredible I think it is. It is number 7 in this list. Number 6 in this list is Thor Ragnarok. Bam! I would say this is the best MCU movie of the year. Best Thor movie ever. One of the funniest movies of the year. One of the funniest MCU movie ever. And it rekindled the Thor franchise. It has so many great characters, from Thor, Hulk, Loki, Valkyrie, Hela, Surtur. I can go on and on and on. I love this movie. Taika Waititi directed this movie. He did a comedy style that we haven't seen before. You could tell, if you're familiar with Taika Waititi, you could tell his style is very immersed in this movie. It has great substance. It is a fresh take on the franchise. And like I said in my review, which you haven't seen, you should definitely check it out. Link in the description below. It is a fun movie from start to finish. It's a fun roller coaster ride. And you might think, oh god, be another person who used the word fun to describe this movie. Because it's literally fun. The jokes hit almost all the times. And the spectacle, seeing the style that Taika have, the substance, the story, and everything was just incredible. It's a very different take. It's another space adventure, but it's very different from Guardians of the Galaxy. That I would believe to say that. And it is very unique, bold, very different, yet familiar. The performances are great. The comedic performances are great. I would say doing comedy sometimes is harder than doing romance or drama because you need to nail the comedic timing, and Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, everyone in this movie, and also Thor, played by Taika Waititi himself, was well done in this movie. And the only reason it's number 6 is I feel like some of the jokes, not only maybe it could be out of place, that's probably the best way to describe it, and maybe overdue because there is some emotional moments that I feel like could have been explored more, but it's just skipped over completely and covered by a joke. One scene in particular nearing the very end, I'm not gonna spoil it to you, but one very particular scene that is very endearing to Thor. Something happened, and it directly got overshadowed because they land a joke directly in there. And even though the joke is funny and the cinema that I watch and laugh, I feel like it could have been better if there was no joke in that scene. And this is only one instance because I feel like there's a couple of scenes that I feel like could have been better if there wasn't joke. But overall, it is a fun ride from start to finish. Taika Waititi did a great job. Good job, my man. Alright, so now number 5. We're going to the top 5, guys. Top 5. Number 5 of the year. Number 5 is Pixar's Coco. One word to describe this movie is that it is beautiful. This will for sure win the best animated movie of the year for the Oscar. I will say the animated movie of the year, the animated movie of this year has been slightly weaker in comparison to the previous years, but this one was just incredible. It was on another level of beautifulness. That's not even a real word. Of just gorgeous spectacle, of just the animation, the world, and the music. I really love the song Remember Me. If you've seen the movie, it will probably, if just thinking about it makes my heart melts. It's just such an emotional movie. You know, Pixar likes to play with our heartstrings. Everything from Toy Story, from Inside Out, from Up, from WALL-E, Incredibles, Finding Nemo, everything. This movie is just super wonderful, and it's super emotional also. But before I go on to emotional, I would like to say that the voice performances, not only the vocal performances because they're singing, but the voice acting is great. And you will be so immersed with the story and the world from start to end. Because once you're in it, you're like, wow, I want to know more about this world. But by the end, you'll be sobbing your hearts out. You'll be crying, because I was crying at the end of the movie. It's one of the few movies that I cried by the very end. It is very memorable. Pixar once again strikes you in the emotional core. It is a memorable movie, characters, the music is incredible. And like I said, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch it with your friends and family, because I feel like it will really touch you. Especially watch it with your family. It could be great watching it with your friends, but if you watch it with your family, I feel like it will be so much more. And it's just an incredible movie. My favorite animated movie of the year. One of my favorite Pixar movie of all time, which is saying a lot because Pixar is incredible. Number 4 on this list. This is one of the very few underrated movies of the year in my opinion. And this movie is The Big Sick, starring Kumail Nanjiani, a Pakistani comedian, actor. And the story, I didn't know this, but it's apparently a true story of how he met his wife. Now, I don't know how much of this is actually true story, but it's legit based on his life, which is surprising to me because I didn't realize it till the very end when they show it in the credits. Because it's almost like a real-life rom-com, which is incredible if the story is all true. And like I said, the story is the best thing of this movie. I was just so involved in this movie. It have deep emotional moments. It have some heartwarming moments. It have uplifting moments, and it has hilarious moments. And those stuff are really hard to do in one movie. In order to nail it and making it like a perfect not, well, I wouldn't say this is a near perfect movie, but nailing it in one movie is very hard. Very few movies can do that, and this movie did that. It has a super talented cast from Kumail Nanjiani. We have Zoe Kazan who played Emily, which is his real life wife, and Emily. Oh God, I think it's Emily Gordon. I'm sorry if I mistaken it, but that's the name of his wife, and she wrote this movie if I'm not wrong, and it is incredible. Props to her. Also, we have Holly Hunter and Ray Romano playing Emily's parents in this movie, and the cast is just incredible performances from start to beginning. I love this movie so much. I've only seen it once. I really wish I have the time to see it again because it's one of the few movies which I want to see on a repeated viewing directly after watching it. It's very unexpected. I did not expect this movie to be great. To be honest, I see it quite late. Lots of people saying it's great, but I'm like, how good could it be? And in this movie, there is like so many moments I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious. And there's moments I'm like, oh man, come on. I hope this doesn't happen or anything because I was so invested emotionally. Like I said, they did great stuff in this movie that's in other movies it will probably fail. But definitely one of my personal favorite movies of the year. Number 3, it is Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele. But before I go on to Jordan Peele, I would say this movie is just incredible. It's one of the early entrances of the year. I believe it's released either in February or April. Not April, February or January. Why did I say April? But it is a great horror movie. One of the best one of the year. And 2017 has been a resurgence for horror. We've seen great ones. Like I said, we've seen Annabelle Creation, which has been great. There has been Happy Death Day, which has been quite fun to be honest. And Split, also one of the few horror movies that has been great of the year. But this movie is not just straight horror. It's more of a horror. It's more of a drama in a horror world. That's how I will describe it. But there are definitely some tense, thrilling, psychological thriller moments, which is incredible and immersive. But the best thing about this movie is the performances. Daniel Kaluuya, who I forget the character name, but his performance was just incredible. When I watch it, I'm like, I feel like I've seen this guy before. And it's true because I've seen him in a very different movie, which is Johnny English 2. If you know that, that's a Rowan Atkinson spy movie. And he didn't do much in that movie, but when I see him in this movie, I'm like, oh my god, that is incredible. The performance of him was just out of this world, him alone. But not about that. He had great range. And the cast, talking about good cast, the Big Sick have a great cast, and I mentioned them. But this movie have a even better cast. And if there's an award in Oscar like Best Overall Cast, I don't think there is. I think there is in the is it the SAG Awards? I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Once again, I'm not in the movie business, but I love movies. But Allison Williams, Bradley Whitford, Catherine Keener, Caleb Landry Jones, they're all fantastic in this movie. And if there is an award for Best Cast, they will definitely win this. Jordan Peele, who directed this movie, like I said, he's known as a comedy actor. This is, if I'm not wrong, his directorial debut for the big screen. And it's very surprising because, like I said, he's a comedy actor. He is a funny guy. And he made one of the best horror movies of the year. Straight out, one of the best movies of the year. He's number 3 on my list. It has a great story, unbelievable performances. The score is intense. It has great horror. It is incredible. And not only that, it has a message. The message is brilliant. It has a political subject that sneaks in this horror movie. And it speaks out. And definitely Jordan Peele deserves recognition for what he did. Not only as a African American director, but for what he did in the movie business. Almost just slightly below, I say, in the tier of Patty Jenkins and what she did. But this movie is just incredible. Almost perfect from start to finish. Now, number 2 on my list is Logan. Personally, this is one of my favorite movie of the year. But it's number 2. Cut that. Now, number 2 on this list is Logan. This is the final performance, as so he said, by Hugh Jackman for his titular character of Wolverine/Logan in the X-Men franchise. Now, Hugh Jackman has been one of the best and most perfect casting in any superhero franchise movie whatsoever. He is incredible, and personally, this is one of my favorite movie of the year. The story is great. It is the final chapter for the Wolverine character. It has a perfect ending. It's based on the sort of a rough interpretation of the Old Man Logan comic, and it's about an old man being the new apprentice in X-23. And it might seem cliched, you might seem some familiar story points, but I would like to say that it's not about what's it about, but it's about how they did it. Because what this movie did was just unbelievable. It has great performances from Hugh Jackman as Wolverine/Logan. It showed the best range of him, showcasing what he can do. Incredible. Sorry. And it have Daphne Keane, who play X-23. And it has Daphne Keane, who play X-23, sort of the daughter/clone of Logan. I'm not going to go too deep to the story, but her performance is incredible. If I'm not wrong, she's only 9 in this movie, and she's outstanding. She hardly speaks, and when she speaks, she's like, what? She speaks, spoiler alert for Logan, I'm sorry, of course. And Patrick Stewart, who played Professor X in this movie, was also amazing. I believe he's gonna get overlooked for the Best Supporting Actor in the Oscar, but personally, I feel like it's one of the best supporting actor performances of the year in any movie that I've seen. And I've seen this movie a couple of times, and every time, I want to say I've seen it 3 to 4 times. That's how much I love this movie. And every time I see it, I can't help but I sob at the end. It is a perfect ending to the movie. The first time I see it, I cried. I legit cried at the end of the movie. The second time, I cried also. The third time, I sobbed. The fourth time, I sobbed. But I didn't cry like the way I did in the first 2. Because the Wolverine character is just... It's really important to me as I grow up. Because I love the X-Men franchise, and it did so much for the comic book industry, and I really love Wolverine, one of my personal favorite characters, and it's thanks to Hugh Jackman's portrayal. And not only because of my personal attachment to the character, but the movie really did justice for his character. How they did the ending was just perfect. I really hope, even though how much I want to see Hugh Jackman once again as Wolverine, I really hope it is the end for him as his character, because it is just so perfect what this movie did. And like I said, I cry probably not because I'm just a geek and I really love the character, but because the movie did it so well. It is the R-rated Wolverine movie. It done justice for the character. It has action, drama, intensity, near perfect ending, and also it's my first video on this channel. It's my first movie review in this channel, and so it just have a very personal tie-in to me, and which is why this movie is number 2 on this list. Now it's time for the number 1 movie of the year so far of 2017, and you might think, wow, you're so passionate about Logan, how could this movie personally top that? Well, drumroll. And the number 1 movie of the year 2017 so far, as of December 16, decided by Albert Wiradharma of Jam Movies, is Lady Bird. This movie is a near perfect movie directed by Greta Gerwig in her directorial debut. And it's a directorial debut, and it is a near perfect movie. That is first of all, that is just incredible and impressive. Saoirse Ronan, I hope I'm not botching her name, but she played the titular character of Lady Bird. That is her name, and it is a coming of age story. It's probably, well, of course, number 1 is the best coming of age story of the year. One of my personal favorite coming of age story in the past few years, alongside with Age of 17 and all that other stuff. But it revolves around her and her mother story. Mainly, it revolves around her and her mother, but it also covers a powerful story of her life in high school. She is in a Catholic school, and the relationship between her and her parents, especially with her mom. Like I said, it explores friendship, it explores relationship with her boyfriend. It is a very well done movie. It has a great score. It has a very beautiful cinematography. Once again, Greta Gerwig did a great job. Great overall performances, especially by Saoirse Ronan, and the whole cast was also amazing. And one thing that I was really impressed by, and I did not realize until I was thinking about the movie again, was that it really captured the essence of Sacramento. The movie is based in Sacramento, and it really captures the essence of being in Sacramento. I feel like I grew up there. That is how good the movie did in capturing the essence of Sacramento. And it feels like I'm in a journey with her every step of the way. Every time there is a struggle between her relationship with her family and her friends, it feels like I am there, and I feel like it almost feels like it makes me feels like I hope I could be there, and I'm like, hey, it's okay. It's only one step. It's only going to get better. And it's a really powerful emotional story, and it makes me feel like I'm there. It makes me feel like I am her friend. It makes me feel like I'm rooting for her. That's how good the story is, how good the movie is. It is a full circle. It's an incredible movie. The greatest movie of the year thus far, which is why it's number one. I love the movie. Personally, the movie made me want to call my mom right after, because of how her relationship with her mom, there is some mirror and reflect of how my relationship with my mom is. And what it did was just incredible. It really did. This movie really made me wish that I was able to watch this with my family, not just my mom, with my whole family, my dad, my mom, and my sister. Because this movie was, like I said, it just makes me very immersed with them, with her family, with the character. But I really wish I was able to watch this movie in the cinema with my family. As you know, I'm in college now. I miss my family back home. And this movie just really captures everything. And like I said, I miss them, and it is getting personal, I'm sorry. But this movie did something really great, and if you're planning to watch this and you haven't watched it, I recommend watching with your friends. Might be great, but I really do recommend watching it with your family, because I feel like it will strike you in the emotional core. And like I said, I wish I could have watched it with my family, but it doesn't take anything away from this movie, because this movie is near perfect. I really love this movie. And that is it for the top 10 movies of the year. Boom! I've said my honorable mentions. I've told you some movies that I haven't watched, and I'm planning to watch it probably once I'm back here on campus in January. But those are the movies. I'll recap it once again. Number 10, Wonder Woman. Number 9, Baby Driver. Number 8, Star Wars The Last Jedi. Vroom vroom. Number 7, Blade Runner 2049. Number 6, Thor Ragnarok. Number 5, Coco. Number 4, The Big Sick. Number 3, Get Out. Number 2, Logan. Yeah! And number 1, Lady Bird. What do you guys think of my list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell me in the comment section below your personal top 10 movies of 2017. I don't know if you've watched more movies than I did. I would say, the most movies I've ever watched ever in a year. And I will tell you guys this. I haven't been a big movie fan until very recently, and I'm so obsessed with movies as of recently, which is why I've seen the most in 2017, and making this list was really hard. So I want to hear your personal top 10 list in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I want to hear your thoughts, not only your list. I want to hear your thoughts if you think like, oh, come on, man, you should have Logan number 1 if you think like that. Or, oh, come on, you didn't mention movies like Wind River, or movies like Ghost Story, Detroit, Mother, or anything. I want to hear your thoughts. Lego Batman movie, maybe it's in your top 10 list, I don't know. But tell me in the comment sections below. And share this video with your friends. Share it with all your friends, your family members, and it could spark conversation of what you think is your own personal top 10 list. Talk with them, talk with me. You could contact me on social media at JAViraDharma, both on Twitter and Instagram. I'm very active over there. If you contact me, it's bound that I will reply back, man. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more. Click the bell notification below to get notified whenever I upload more videos. Until next time, Jiao out.